Okay, let's go to Cathy. Cathy, could you just tell us a little about your business?
So I thrivingnow.com, and I help people create the confidence, competence, and the courage to step into the thriving business they want and deserve. And I'm my own avatar, because last year when I turned in my Plaid application, I was crying and shaking. I was so scared. I was so shy. And I was convinced, if you told me I was going to be up here next year, I would have laughed at you. And I was talking to Mark, who's amazing, and I said, no one's going to talk to me. I'm so shy. No one will help me. I'll just fade into the woodwork. And the very first meeting we had in January, we were starting to do our first launch using product launch formula. And we'd already doubled our highest sales ever for an internal launch. At that point, we're on day 2. We're like, oh my God, this is great. And Sebastian and Erico sat down with me and helped me. And they both had just finished very, very big launches. And each of them gave me as much attention. I really felt like they were so focused and they cared as much about my launch, my little baby launch, as they did for their launches. And it just blew me away. And we ended up making $40,000. And more importantly, we sold products to 71 countries. And I'm here because I care about making a difference in the world and making the world a better place, a lighter place. And so I think of that as 71 little lights in some other countries spreading out with people. And we would have never done that if I hadn't been part of this.
And so with Cathy, right at the end of our Platinum meeting, I asked you if you would be willing to share your story, because I know how shy you are, but I just knew that people needed to see your smile, and they needed to hear your story. It was absolutely amazing. And do you have anything more to share about your transformation in the last year, other than being willing to jump up on stage?
Well, I've been a PhD engineer for 20 years, and they kind of lock us in dark rooms a lot, and so we don't talk to people. And I have a history of abuse, and so getting in front of people and sharing who I am is really, really vulnerable for me. And to be able to call up Anne and say, Anne, can you listen to what I want to share? And practice with someone who's really loving. Or Bill would say, that didn't really make sense. I didn't get that. And so for me, there's a lot of things that Platt brings, but the biggest gift I got was the Facebook forum, where we could post things and get feedback and practice. And I've gotten up on stage, and I've sent my list, my entire list, 50,000 people, what I weighed. Because I was terrified that would ruin my business, because no one would want to learn from someone who was 313 pounds. And when I sent that out, and all the people started saying, oh, me too. If you can do this, I can do this too. That was everything to me. And I know there's people. Thank you so much. I wish I could send a picture of that back to me a year ago. But I think I'd like to say, I know there's people in here that think you're not ready. You think you're not skinny enough or not confident enough or you don't know enough. And you don't get more confident by waiting. You don't live your life by waiting to lose weight or be prettier or more confident. I didn't want to wake up at the end of my life and say, I wish I had. And what each of you have, there's somebody out there that's dying to hear what you have to say. So I really encourage you, however you do it, get out there and start sharing it, please.
These guys are like, how am I going to follow that? Oh, thank you. So if you had one tip, I think you actually gave a whole bunch of tips already, but if you had one tip that sort of, if you knew then, a year ago, if you knew then what you know now, and what would that be? What would that tip be?
I think it comes off of what Bill said, is that you really learn by doing, and it's going to be scary, and if you just start taking those little steps, you'll be so amazed at what you can create and the lives you can touch.
Thank you. Thank you.